Yeah. Now it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we continue with the leaf. Okay, next one is, so leaf consists three important parts. Okay, three important parts. One is leaf base and petiole and the lamina. So these are the three important parts of the leaves. So let me discuss one by one. Okay, what are the characteristic features they have? The first one is leaf base. Okay, now okay, so you have a clear depicted diagram here. Okay, so here the leaf base, from the leaf base there are, it can bear two lateral and small leaf like structures. They are called stipules. So this is the leaf base, this is the exact region. So from here there is a small leaf like structure that is called stipule. So stipule from originated from the base of the leaf. Okay, that is the first important point. And second important point is in monocotyledons. Okay, in monocotyledons, the leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially or wholly. Okay, that is the second important characteristic feature. So which means in monocotyledon, the leaf base are expanded into sheath covering. Okay, so this is the characteristic feature. The sheath covering leaf base is the characteristic feature of monocotyledon plants. So we can expect a question, the statement based question. So appடி இந்த statement, இந்த content வந்து இந்த words வந்து இந்த sentence அப்படியே statement ஆவும் நமக்கு questions வந்து expect பண்ணலாம். Okay, then in some leguminous plants, so this is the second important point, which is in some leguminous plants. So underline, if you have a NCERT book with now, so just make a note or underline leguminous plants. So these leguminous plants, the leaf base may become swollen. So this is a very important one in this region. So this is the region it can swell, called pulvinous type, which is called pulvinous. So pulvinous type of leaf base, which is the characteristic feature of leguminous plants. Okay, and at the same time, if leaf base is covered with sheath, that is the characteristic feature of monocotyledon plants. Okay, so we can expect match type of question also. Okay, from this content, right? So we have to analyze like in this way, right? And next one is second characteristic feature of leaf. The first one is leaf base. So under leaf base, what are the important points? The first one is the leaf base can produce a leaf-like structures. They are stipules. And second one is leaf base of monocotyledons. They covered with sheath. And third one is the leguminous plants leaf base becomes swollen. They call pulvinous. Okay, pulvinous leaf base is the characteristic feature of leguminous plants. Okay, we can expect question based on this content. Now, so second part of the leaf is, okay, this petiole. The second one is petiole. So this is the petiole, this region. Okay, okay, this region is known as petiole. Help hold the blade. Light, long, thin, flexible petioles allow the leaf blade to flutter in wind. So sometimes we can expect what is the role of petiole in leaves. So the first one is petiole allows the leaf blades to flutter in wind. So we can expect a function related questions. Which of the following functions are related with petiole? Okay, so we can expect a question like this. So to answer those questions, we have to know about these functions of petioles or the characteristic feature of petioles. Okay, so thereby what happens if there is a flutter in wind, so the cooling the leaf and the bringing fresh air to the leaf surface. So here there are two important uh, roles are there, right, about petiole. The first one is it allows the leaf blades to flutter in wind and therefore cooling the leaf, and third one is bringing fresh air to the leaf surface. So these are all the roles of petioles. Okay, So it's a very important one. So we can expect all these three statements and then assess options, and fourth one is all the above. So this kind of question also we expect from this content. And the last structure is lamina. So this is the structure. So the entire class structure is called lamina or the leaf blade. We know it is green and expanded part of the leaf with the vein and veinlets. Okay. So here vein and veinlets. What are all the veins and veinlets? I mean, which anatomical structure we can call them as a vein and veinlets in externally? Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. Okay. Right. So with veins and veinlets, what are all the veins and veinlets? Nothing but vascular bundles, correct? Xylem and phloem. So there is usually a prominent midrib. See, if you look a typical angiosperm any leaf, the center one, okay, the center one, which is known as midrib. So this is the midrib, and from the midrib there are veins are formed. Okay, so this midrib consists vascular bundle. So in this region, midrib is nothing but vascular bundle, right? But in this portion, the midrib portion, the vascular bundles are larger than the veins. Okay, that is the difference between midrib and veins. Okay, and we have veinlets also. Okay, listen here. There is usually a middle prominent vein which is known as the midrib. So in midrib region, the vascular bundle size is larger. Okay, so that is the additional point we have to remember. And next one is vein provides rigidity. So rigidity in the sense stability. Okay, here it's giving stability. The leaves doesn't lose structure, right, to the leaf blade and act as a channel for transport of water, mineral, and food materials. So this is the way. This is why I told that veins are vascular bundles. Okay, xylem and phloem. So they are channel to transport water and mineral and food materials. We know water and minerals transported through xylem and food material transported through phloem. Okay, the shape and margin affects surface and extent of incision of lamina varies in different leaves. So it is a very important point because all the leaves are not same. So each and every leaf they have their own characteristic feature, right? So here the word incision, it's very important. Incision is nothing but a small furrow. Okay, this is the incisions, right? So இந்த ஒரு சின்ன வளைவு பாத்தீங்களா, இது நம்ம incisions அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். Okay, right. So far we discussed about the leaf. What is leaf and what are all the parts and what are the roles of that part? Okay, leaf base and petiole, and the last one is lamina or leaf blade. Okay, so we can expect a question from anywhere. Okay, we can expect anywhere. So but we should remember all the content. So நம்ம இங்க எங்கிருந்து question வராதுன்னு சொல்லவே முடியாது. We can expect a question particularly about the leaf base. Leaf base ல இருந்து questions கேட்கறதுக்கு chances அதிகம். Why? Because these examples are there, pulvinous and sheath covering leaf bases. Okay, so the leaf base is which is covered with sheath is the predominantly available in monocotyledon, and the pulvinous type of leaf base which is present in leguminous plants. Okay, these are all the important facts we have to remember. So we can expect a question from this, right? Okay, so let me discuss about the venation. Okay, venation is nothing but the arrangement of the veins and the veinlets in the lamina of the leaf. So that is termed as venation, right? So here the most important part, venation, because there are two type of venation. There is reticulate and a parallel venation. So here we can get the basic characteristic feature of dicotyledon and monocotyledon. So in dicotyledon plants, the reticulate venation is seen. Okay, at the same time, monocotyledon plants, the parallel venation we can see, right? So that is the general characteristic feature of monocotyledon and dicotyledon. So நம்ம இப்படி ஒரு question expect பண்ணலாம். So which of the following are not a characteristic feature of dicotyledon plant? What are all the characteristic feature of dicotyledon plants? So in this segment, we have only one characteristic feature, that is venation, but we have different characteristic feature. But now see, here also we discussed in monocotyledon plants, the leaf base is sheath covered on. So it may be an option. Okay, if we can expect a question, இந்த மாதிரியான questions கூட நம்ம expect பண்ணலாம். Okay, so be careful. So again and again நம்ம ஒரு வேலை பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கணும். So we have to think how the questions can be asked from that particular content அப்படின்ற விஷயத்தை நம்ம திரும்ப யோசிச்சுட்டே இருக்கணும். Okay, so the first one is, so we discuss here V nation. இங்க வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா டைரக்டா வந்து there are two type of V nation. They clearly mention about the V nation, reticulate V nation, which is predominantly seen in dicotyledon plants, and parallel V nation, which is seen in monocotyledon. Okay, that is the facts which mentioned here. So we can expect a direct question, statement based question like கேட்கலாம், but it's very simple. But அந்த மாதிரி questions வந்து ரொம்ப rare தான் கேட்கலாம், but in a different way. So we can expect a different way. Okay, so எப்படி கேட்கலாம் அப்படின்னா options. For example, which of the following characters are not a characteristic feature of monocotyledon அப்படின்ற ஒரு क्वेश्चन நம்ம எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம் இல்லையா? சோ அதனால தான் சொல்றேன். Okay, so next one. Okay, listen. So reticulate venation, when the veins run parallel to each other with a lamina, this type of venation is termed as parallel. Okay, so the dicotyledon plant generally possess reticulate venation, while parallel venation is characteristic feature of monocotyledon. So here there is a two characteristic features are mentioned. Okay, so two type of plants and their venation type, right? The next one is types of leaves. So there are two type of leaves. Okay, one is simple, another compound. So simple leaves, when the lamina is entered or when incised, the incision do not touch the midrib. For example, if you look at these leaves, so their incision, for example, assume this is the leaf. Okay, so if the incisions are takes place here in this region, they never touch the midrib. So this is the midrib, right? So the midrib incision thodama irunda, those leaves are simple. Okay, they are simple leaves, and again the incision do not touch the midrib. When the incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking into a number of leaflets. So these are all the leaflets. See, look at here. So this is the incision which is reached up to the midrib. Okay, this is the midrib, right? So this is the midrib. Otherwise, you assume here. Okay, this is the midrib here, which is known as rachis. So this is the leaf. The incision completely touch the midrib. Okay, so this type of leaves are compound leaves. If the incision touch the midrib, they are called compound leaves. If the midrib is do not touch the midrib, it is called simple leaves. Okay, this is the basic difference between simple and compound leaves. So next one is okay. Listen. We are going to discuss different type of compound leaves. Now, so far we discussed what is the simple and what is compound, and the last in this content. Okay, a bud is present in the axis of petiole in both simple and compound leaves. So this is general characteristic feature. So we can expect a question, statement based question. இங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த statement அப்படி entire அப்படி அந்த statement கொடுத்துட்டு that they ask the statement is correct or incorrect. So அந்த மாதிரியான questions நம்ம expect பண்ணலாம். Okay, so sometimes we may get a question like this, right? And second one is compound leaves and its classification. So already we discussed what is compound leaf. If the incision touch the midrib, they are compound leaves. Under compound there are two types, pinnately compound and palmately compound. So we have two examples, pinnately and palmately. Okay, this is pinnately compound leaf, this is the palmately compound leaf. See, this is the, so these are all the leaflets. Okay, number of leaflets are present on a common axis. See, all are present in a common axis, right? So this is called rachis. So here this is the rachis, the middle one is the rachis. Okay, so all the leaflets are present on a common axis, that is rachis, which represents the midrib of the neem plant. So this is all. you should know this is the midrib. Okay, this is midrib, which is known as rachis, as in neem plant. So நம்ம இங்க இந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள் எப்படி எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம், क्वेश्चन எப்படி எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம், which plants having pinnately compound leaves or pinnately compound leaves are present in which of the following plants. Okay, so answer will be neem. Okay, and next one is palmately compound leaves. Okay, next one is palmately compound leaves. Let me discuss here. So palmately compound leaves example is silk cotton. So here the leaflets, all the leaflets are originated from a single midrib, but in abdi kadiyad. Okay, there is a common branches, but there is a difference between pinnately and palmately compound. So these old type of leaves, all are the leaflets are originated from the middle of the midrib. Okay, in the midrib lenda ella leaves me on the develop ஆயிட்டிருக்கும். So we can expect questions from this point of view. Okay, இந்த கூட நம்ம questions கேட்கலாம். எப்படின்னா, which of the following plants having palmately compound leaves? So the answer is silk cotton. So இப்படிதான் நம்ம questions வந்து expect பண்றதா இருக்கும், right? So pinnately compound and palmately compound, எங்கெல்லாம் pinnately compound இருக்கு, எந்தெந்த plantல palmately compound leaves இருக்குன்னு questions நம்ம expect பண்ணலாம். Okay, so next one is so here. Okay, that is clear, right? So நம்ம இந்த NCERT புக்கே நம்ம இங்க வந்து அனலைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம், லைன் பை லைன் அனலைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம், சரியா? Okay, so the palmately compound leaves, sorry. So palmately compound leaves, the leaflets are attached at a common point. Okay, look at here. Okay, common point. So the tip of the petiole, as seen in silk cotton. So palmately compound leaves, which is seen in silk cotton. So this is the example. So we can expect a question from this. Okay, every question expect பண்ணலாம். With palmately compound leaves, எந்தெந்த plantல இருக்குன்னு நம்ம questions வந்து expect பண்ணலாம். Okay, so next one is phyllotaxy. So another topic which is comes under leaf, that is phyllotaxy. So phyllotaxy is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branches. So here how the leaves are arranged, simplest one, the arrangement of leaves on the stem or branches. Okay, so that is called phyllotaxy. So questions எப்படி expect பண்ணலாம், phyllotaxy எந்தெந்த plantல எப்படி phyllotaxy இருக்குன்னு expect பண்ணலாம். Okay, listen, this is usually a three types. There are three type of phyllotaxy. The first one is alternate one, and second one is opposite, and third one is old one. Okay, the first one is alternate, second one is opposite, and third one is old type. Okay, so the first one is here, there is alternate, and this is opposite, and this one is old type. Okay, so in your book itself the diagram also clearly depicted with the example name. Okay, so for example the first one is alternate type. So an alternate type of phyllotaxy, a single leaf arises at each node. See, look at this diagram. So here single leaf which originated from a single node. Okay, a type of phyllotaxy, a single leaf arises at the each node in alternate manner. See, one leaf from this node and another one is in a opposite one. Okay, so இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதுக்கு கொஞ்சம் மேல ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். Okay, alternate position இப்படி. Okay, so this type of phyllotaxy as seen in China rose. So here also the example. Okay, this is alternate type of phyllotaxy. So question expect பண்றது எப்படி expect பண்ணலாம், இந்த கண்டென்ட்ல இருந்து எப்படிங்க question expect பண்ணலாம், alternate type of leaves. Okay, alternate type of leaves which is present in China rose அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மென்ட்டை கொடுக்கலாம், கரெக்ட் ஸ்டேட்மென்ட்டா கூட இருக்கலாம். Okay, so if we can expect a wrong statement also, இதுல இருந்து நம்ம ஒரு wrong statement questions கூட expect பண்ணலாம். எப்படி இருக்கலாம், instead of giving China rose for alternate they will mention guava. So actually guava is not an alternative type, it is an opposite type. So we have to distinguish the examples also. Okay, first of all, which one is alternate type and which one is opposite type, and what are all the examples which is clearly mentioned in NCRT. Okay, so NCRT examples are very very important. Okay, so the first one is alternate type as seen in China rose, and second one is opposite type. So this type of leaves arises at each node and the opposite type. So listen, if you look Goa, you can clearly visible these leaves. Okay, between the single node in opposite side they are arise. Okay, so as seen in Calotropis and Goa. So there are two examples which is mentioned in our book. One is Calotropis, another one is Goa plant. Okay, Goa and Calotropis plants having opposite phylotaxy. So questions on the கேட்கும்போது which pair of plants having opposite phylotaxy அப்படின்னு கொஸ்டின் கேட்கலாம். அதாவது pair of questions அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம், pair of names சொல்லும்போது they will interchange the names. Okay, actually correct answer is Goa and Calotropis, but instead of giving Calotropis and Goa they will give another examples. Okay, for example China rose, Alstonia, and they will mention any other plants. Okay, so for answering these questions we have to remember these examples. ஓகே, ஆப்போசிட்னா என்னென்ன பிளான்ஸ்ல அந்த ஆப்போசிட் டைப் ஆஃப் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். நெக்ஸ்ட் தேர்ட் ஒன் இஸ் வேர்ல்ட் டைப். ஸோ வேர்ல்ட் டைப் அப்படின்றது தான் இன் சிங்கிள் நோட், அதாவது சிங்கிள் நோட்ல இருந்து அந்த என்டையர் ஸ்டெம்மை சுற்றியும் லீவ்ஸ் வந்து டெவலப் ஆயிருக்கும் as seen in Alstonia. Okay, so if more than two leaves arises at a node and form a whorl. Okay, it is called whorl type of phylotaxy which is seen in Alstonia. So how many examples which is seen here under phylotaxy? There are three type of phylotaxy. One is alternate, second one is opposite, and third one is whorl type. So each one have different examples. Okay, couple of examples here. The first one alternate, only one example, that is China rose, and second one is opposite. We have two examples. One is Calotropis, another one is Goa, and third one is whorl type. It is Alstonia. Okay, so இது வந்து match type of questions கூட நம்ம expect பண்ணலாம். Okay, match type of one column consists the plant names and another column consists phylotaxy type, and they will ask us to select which one is correctly matched or incorrectly matched. Okay, right, so we can expect a question, this kind of question from phylotaxy. Okay, let's we move into the next one, that is modification of leaf. So here also there is chance. Okay, asking questions, let me discuss one by one. What are all the modification takes place? Okay, so modification of leaves. So we know the primary function of leaves are photosynthesis, right? So they consist chloroplast. In the chloroplast they have chlorophyll, so they absorb sunlight and with the help of pigments, and there is a photosynthesis. So photosynthesis can synthesize food also. But apart from food synthesis, the leaves also modified to do a specific functions. Apart from photosynthesis, there are other functions also. Let me discuss one by one. The first modification is tendrils. Okay, the first modification is tendrils. If you look at here, so these are all the leaf tendrils. Okay, a small spiral like structure. Okay, these are all the tendrils. There are two type of tendrils, stems tendrils also there, leaf tendrils also there. Sometimes we may confuse also which one is example. Based on the example based பண்ணி பார்க்கும்போது எதெல்லாம் வந்து leaf tendril, which are all the examples comes under leaf tendrils and which are all comes under stem tendrils அப்படின்றதுல ஒரு சின்ன கன்ஃபியூஷன் வரும். So you should avoid the confusion. So avoid on the confusion avoid பண்ணனும்னா we have to think in a different way. We have to find out, we have to ensure that the examples. Okay, for example leaf tendrils are used for clumping as seen in peas. So very good example here. Okay, the first one is the tendrils, leaf tendrils modified. So here the modification is, for modification here is they are climbing, to climb something. The pea plants have leaf tendrils, which means the leaves of peas, they are modified into tendrils to climb something. Okay, so that is the first one. And second modification is spines. Okay, so chinna mull on the form avilla, they are spines to defense, for defense mechanism. Okay, So here the spine function is to depend. Okay. So as seen in cactus. Okay, cactus. So this is the example cactus, right? So here the leaves are modified into spines. Okay. So இது நமக்கு இது ஈஸிங்க, இது நமக்கு எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணல முடியாது. கொஸ்டின் வரலாம் வராமலே போகலாம், ஏன்னா எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். பட் tendrils is very important. So tendrils, the leaves are modified into tendrils in peaks. In the point Roman understood. Next one, the fleshy leaves of onion and garlic. So they are modified leaves, okay, to store the food. So we know the garlic node and the onion node leaves. So the fleshy leaves of onion is converted, is modified into different structures, okay, to store the food. Okay, so here the storage food, that is a function. And in some plants such as Australia acacia, so there is a very important example, Australian acacia. The leaves are small, they are short like, which means in a couple of years they will fall on. Okay, அதாவது சீக்கிரமாவே வந்து உதிர்ந்துடலாம். The petioles in these plants, okay, the petioles, the most important one is the part which is converted into different one. Okay, we know already discussed different parts of leaves, right? Petiole is the important part of the leaf. So here the leaf modification in Australian acacia, the leaf part which is modified is petiole. Okay, so the petiole is in these plants expand, become green, and synthesize the food, which means it is actively involving in photosynthesis. Okay, so that is a very important one. This structure is called phylloid. Okay, phylloid. இது எல்லாருக்கும் கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. Phylloid is the what we see, that is the phylloid, and it is seen in Australian acacia. Okay, so tendrils also perform photosynthesis. Yes, they consist chlorophyll, definitely. Okay, any other question? Darshan, yes, Darshan. Okay, so leaves of certain insectivorous plants. So this is the next examples. Next example is insectivorous plants, as in pitcher plant and Venus flytrap. So these two plants, the leaves are modified to trap insects. So those plants lack of nitrogen source, so they didn't get the nitrogen source through direct photosynthesis and other mode of nutrition. They can get the nitrogen source from insects also. To trap insects, the leaves are modified. So there are two examples which is mentioned here. One is pitcher plant, another one is Venus fly trap. Okay, these are all the two plants which is mentioned here. So here these are also leaf modification. So how do we can expect a question from this content? So which are all the leaf modifications? Okay, they are examples. If they mention examples and they will ask us to select which are all the examples of leaf modification, and sometimes we may get a question like which of the following is not a modification of leaf. The time we have only one leaf and we have another examples, right? Stem modification கொடுத்துட்டு நம்மள confuse பண்ணலாம். So for answering those questions we have to ensure that these are all the modification of leaf, means tendrils, spines, tendrils of trees and spines of cacti, and the food stored leaves of onion and garlic, and photosynthetic petiole in Australian acacia, and the last one is insectivorous plants like pitcher plants and Venus flytrap. Okay, Venus flytrap. So these are all the examples which is comes under modification of leaves. So we can expect example related questions, because last year there is a question based on the stem. Okay, so this year we may get question from leaf also, even stem also. Okay, so now we are moving into the next important part, that is inflorescence. Okay, so far we discussed leaf. So what is the character? There are some characteristic feature of leaf, different types of different parts of the leaf and their characteristic features, and the phyllotaxy, and finally we completed with the modification of leaves. Okay, so now we are moving into the next one, that is inflorescence. Okay, so let me discuss about inflorescence and their types. So in NCERT the content about inflorescence is very simple and easier one also. Okay, so let me discuss. Okay, so this is the introductory part. Let me discuss what is the content he is mentioned here. Okay, so the flower is a modified shoot. So that we already knew. Flower is nothing but it's a modified shoot, wherein the shoot apical meristem is changed into floral meristem. Okay, so shoot meristem is converted into floral meristem to produce inflorescence. So internodes do not elongate and the axis get condensed, which means from when the plants change the apical, I mean, shoot apical meristem into floral meristems, then there is no elongation of internodes. Okay, that is a very important point. And the axis gets condensed. To condense means to produce inflorescence. So the apex produces different kind of floral appendages laterally. Okay, that is a very important one. Laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. So நமக்கு பொதுவா தெரியும் each and every node in a shoot system they will produce leaves, but here instead of, okay, the leaf gets modified, then where would be the site of photosynthesis? Okay, the modified leaves also sometimes, if they see, the thing you should know, the tendrils also perform photosynthesis. The thing you should know here is wherever there is a chlorophyll, they will perform photosynthesis. That is the important keyword we should remember here. So if there is a chlorophyll, then they will definitely involving in photosynthesis. Okay, if they all the factors which is required for photosynthesis, if they are available, then they will do the photosynthesis also. Okay, so then food is stored in the modified part of leaf. Okay, food storage, it's a different one. So food storage, if there is a chloroplast, definitely there is food is synthesized, but the storage region is different. If there is a various regions of the leaf and various regions of stem, food is stored. It is not only stored in leaf, food also stored in stem, and food also stored in roots also. It is called sink region. Wherever there is a sink, and it should be transported from the where it is synthesized. So எங்க synthesis ஆகுதோ அங்க இருந்து எங்கெல்லாம் அந்த food தேவைப்படுதோ, it will be stored. Okay, so it may be stored the modified part also. So நம்ம பார்த்தோம்ல, the modified part of leaf in onion and garlic, so they modified to store the food. So it's depend upon the modification, which type of modification. அதாவது அந்த function வந்து generally the other leaves which are not modified, they will store photosynthesis, but the modified leaves, they will do, I mean, the purpose of modification, அது எந்த பர்பஸ்க்காக modified இருக்கோ அதுதான் அதனுடைய primary function இருக்கும். Additionally, if they consist chlorophyll and all the conditions are favorable for photosynthesis, they also. Okay, Amarjyoti Ramesh. So Vaishnavi and Darshan Amarjyoti Ramesh, did you get my point? Okay, thank you. Okay, we continue. Okay, when a shoot tip transforms into flower, it is always solitary. So this is a very important one. See, so how it is important? Once again, I will repeat. When a shoot tip transforms into a flower, it is always solitary. So இது வந்து எப்படி நம்ம क्वेश्चन எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணா, they will give as same as here. இங்க இருக்கிற அப்படியே வந்து இந்த சென்டென்ஸ் அப்படியே ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்டா கொடுத்துட்டு they ask us to select it is a correct one or wrong one. கரெக்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்டா இன்கரெக்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்டா வந்து நம்ம வந்து எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ண வைக்கலாம். So it's very important one. And the arrangement of flower on the stem, it is considered as inflorescence. Let me discuss the next one. Okay, I hope the diagram is clear. Okay, so arrangement of flower in the floral axis is termed as inflorescence. Okay, so depending on whether the apex gets developed into flower or continues to grow, two major types of inflorescence are defined. See, there are two type of inflorescence, either It's depend upon the growth of the flower. Okay, if it is continuously growth or it is limited growth. The first one is, there are two type of inflorescence. One is racemose, another one is cymose. Okay, we enlarge this one. Okay, okay. See, there are two type of inflorescence. One is racemose and next one is cymose. Let me discuss what is exactly racemose. And racemose type of inflorescence, the main axis. Okay, so this is the main axis. The main axis continues to grow, continues to grow. The flowers are born laterally. Okay, the flowers are born laterally in acropetal succession. Okay, so this is the acropetal succession. So it is, these are all the characteristic feature of racemose inflorescence. What are all the characteristic feature? There are two characteristic feature. One is the main axis continues to grow. That is the first one. Main axis continues to grow. The second one is the flowers are born laterally in a acropetal succession. So the order of flower bearing is acropetal order. That is the one character. And the second one is the inflorescence, the main axis continues to grow. So these are all the two important characteristic feature of racemose. Let me discuss about the characteristic feature of cymose. So this type of inflorescence, the main axis terminate. Okay, that is a very important, terminate the flower. But here there is a continuous growth. Okay, the axis continues to grow. But in cymose it is terminate, and hence it is the limited growth. So in cymose it is limited growth, but in racemose it is a continuous. Okay, the growth, it will grow continuously. So that is the difference between racemose and the cymose. And next one is, the flowers are born in a basic petal order. Okay, it is a basic petal order. Let me discuss one by one. See, so this is, okay, sorry. See, this is the racemose type, and this one is cymose type. Okay, so here this is acropetal, this is the basic petal. So here the young flowers are present in below the matured part. Okay, matured flowers. This is a very important one. So in the arrangement பாத்தீங்கன்னா இங்க வித்தியாசமா இருக்கும். இங்க வந்து in this region, I mean below the regionல பாத்தீங்கன்னா flowers are larger, and அது போக 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 buds வந்து ஃபார்ம் ஆகும். பட் இங்க வந்து டிஃபரெண்டா இருக்கும். Okay, so this is the cymose type. Okay, so this is the example for cymose, and this one is racemose type. Okay, so இப்போ இங்க இருந்து क्वेश्चंस நமக்கு எப்படி எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம், இந்த இடத்துல எப்படி क्वेश्चंस எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம்னு பார்க்கலாம். the first one is, क्वेश्चन எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்றதுக்கான சான்சஸ் எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இந்த சேஞ்ச் பண்ணலாம், அதனுடைய கேரக்டரிஸ்டிக் ஃபியூச்சரை சேஞ்ச் பண்ணி கொடுக்கலாம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், கண்டினியூஸ் growth இருக்கிறது வந்து as seen in racemose, correct, பட் அவங்க என்ன கொடுப்பாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா seen in cymose கொடுக்கலாம். so they will interchange the characteristic feature and they will ask us to select which is the correct one or wrong one. so statement based case questions வந்து நம்ம இந்த இடத்துல எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். so you always think about how the content become a question. அந்த பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் வியூல நம்ம ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி நிக்கிறோம். so அப்ப அந்த இடத்துல அந்த क्वेश्चंस நம்ம எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். okay, right. so second one is, so here we conclude the inflorescence. now we are moving into the next topic, that is flower. so in inflorescence பத்தி படிக்கும்போது there are three important points should be noted. the first one is types of inflorescence, and second one is the characteristic feature of racemose, and third one is characteristic feature of cymose. so எதுல வந்து limited growth இருக்கும், எதுல வந்து continuous growth இருக்கும், அப்புறம் எதுல வந்து acropetal order இருக்கும், எதுல வந்து basic petal order இருக்கும் ஞாபகம். okay, right. so the next topic is flower. See, everybody knows about the flowers, right? so in angiosperm flowering plants, the flowers have different appendages. okay, so let me discuss one by one. so actually flowers are the reproductive structures in angiosperms, correct? So that is the most important feature of the angiosperms. So they can produce flowers. So they are required for sexual reproduction. Okay, right. So it means sexual reproduction. A typical flower has four different kind of whorls. So it's very important one because these among these four, two are the very important structure. One is gynoecium, another one is androecium, and these two structures are reproductive part, and other two are accessory structures. Let me discuss one by one. So a typical flower has four different kind of whorls arranged successively on the swollen end of the stalk or pedicel, that is called thalamus. Okay. So the stalk or pedicel-like structure, that is called thalamus and receptor. From here, the four kind of whorls are produced. So now these four type of whorls are, the first one is calyx, the greener one, which is surrounded the receptacle at the bottom region, and then corolla, and then next one is androecium and gynoecium. So male reproductive part, and this one is female reproductive. Gynoecium is the female reproductive. So now the calyx and corollas are accessory organs. So they are both calyx and corolla are accessory organs, while androecium and gynoecium are reproductive organs, as seen here right now. So in some flowers, like lily, okay. So most important part in this topic is examples. So we can expect question based on the examples. Maximum chances are there. So let me learn about the examples. Okay. So the remembering examples are very important. Okay, for answering questions. So அதனால மறக்கவே மறக்காதீங்க, இந்த examples are ரொம்ப ரொம்ப important. So in some flowers, okay, in some flowers like lily, the calyx and corolla are not distinct, which means we are not distinguished. So that's why they are termed as perianth. So then, and the petals, and there is no distinction between the petals and sepals. So both are combined together to form a structure which is known as perianth. Okay, and when a flower has both androecium and gynoecium in a single flower, we are called bisexual. If flower having only one type of reproductive part, they are called unisexual. Okay, a flower having either only stamens or carpels, they are unisexual flowers. Okay, if it is only gynoecium is there, or if only some plants only having androecium, so those kind of flowers are unisexual flowers. Okay, so இந்த இடத்துல unisexual flowers and bisexual flowers பத்தி நம்ம 12th standard ஒரு lesson இருக்கும், அங்க நம்ம இன்னும் டீடைலா டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணலாம். So இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்க வேண்டிய point from this content, from here to here, what are all the points are important. What is thalamus and what is receptacle? Okay, and second one is which are all the accessory organs and which are all reproductive organ. Okay, and then and which plants there is no differentiation between calyx and corolla, which is known as perianth. Okay, in lily, and different type of flowers. Okay, bisexual and unisexual. So this classification is based on the reproductive organ which they have. Okay, and next important one is symmetry. So here we have a couple of examples. So let me discuss one by one. The first one is actinomorphic symmetry. Okay, which is also known as radial symmetry. So, and the second one is zygomorphic, and third one is amorphic. Okay, asymmetric one. The third one is asymmetrical one. So now let me discuss about actinomorphic and their examples, and the zygomorphic and their example, and that asymmetric and their examples. Okay. So in examination point of view, okay, we can expect a question based on the examples. I mean, which type of flowers have actinomorphic flowers and which type of flowers they are zygomorphic flowers. So in that, it's very important one. Let me discuss one by one. Okay. So first we start with actinomorphic. Okay, when a flower can be divided into two equal radial arcs. Okay, radial arcs in a radial plane passing through the center, it is said to be actinomorphic. Okay, actinomorphic. Okay, for example, okay, in the mark. Okay, if we separate like this, it is considered actinomorphic, as in mustard, datura, chili. So these three are the examples for actinomorphic flowers. Okay, what are they? Mustard, datura, and chili. எப்பெல்லாம் இந்த மாதிரி த்ரீ எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் இருக்கோ அப்போ நம்ம கொஞ்சம் வித்தியாசமா யோசிக்கணும் சார். என்ன ஹைபிஸ்கஸ், both the androecium and gynoecium are present, then why it isn't converted into fruit? Mm, both the androecium and gynoecium are present. Okay, ஏன் fruit form ஆகலன்னு கேக்குறீங்க? So fruits are there, but they are not considered as a fruit. அவ்வளவுதான். So flowers become a structure. அது வந்து அந்த ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் வரும்போது நம்ம அதை ஃப்ரூட்டா கன்வெர்ட் பண்ண மாட்டோம். அவ்வளவுதான். அது எடிபிள் பார்ட்டா இருக்கிறது இல்லை, அவ்வளவுதானே. But seeds are there. Okay. Amar Jyoti Ramesh. Good. Your question is very interesting here. Okay. புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? See, the production of seeds is very important for further. Yes, yes. Fertilization நடக்குங்க. Fertilization நடக்கும். Fertilization நடக்காமலாம் இல்ல. Fertilization is occur. Fertilization கண்டிப்பா நடக்குங்க. Hibiscus fertilization, okay, is occur. Then any other question? The purpose of present androecium and gynoecium for fertilization only. ஓகே, ஸோ உங்களுக்கு ஃப்ரூட் அப்படின்றது நமக்கு எப்படி தெரியும்னா, நமக்கு வந்து நம்ம கண்ணில் பார்க்குற மாதிரி பெருசா இருந்தா நம்ம ஃப்ரூட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி பிலீவ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். பட் ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி பிளான்ஸ் த ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஃப்ரூட் இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட். ஓகே, அவ்வளோதான். ஓகே, leaf and even stem also. Leaf and even stem also. Good. Any other question? Okay. Amarjyoti, did you get it? Okay, Amarjyoti Ramesh. Okay, I will give you example at the end of the class. I will give you example. Okay, I will give you that example. So now we continue with this, and I will give you example at the end. Okay. So the actinomorphic flowers. So நீங்க அதிலே இருக்காதீங்க. You just come to this topic. Okay. Okay. Good. So the symmetry, we are discussing about symmetry. There are three type of symmetry: actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and asymmetric. So actinomorphic, when a flower can be divided into two equal radial arcs in any radial plane passing through the center, it's said to be actinomorphic as seen in mustard, datura, chili. Mustard, datura and chili. So mustard, datura, chili, these three plants having actinomorphic type. Okay. So every நம்ம questions expect பண்ணலாம். இந்த மாதிரிலாம் 3 examples இருக்கும்போது we should aware என்ன அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா which of the following plants are not having actinomorphic flowers. Okay, அப்படி ஒரு question கேட்கலாம். So அதுல கண்டிப்பா mustard, datura, chili, if there is a these are the converted into options, then it is very easy. So இது மூணுமே கண்டிப்பா actinomorphic plants. So it is not, another one is, for example, they will pick the option from zygomorphic. For example, zygomorphic is seen in pea, gulmohar, bean and cassia, right? So இதுல இருந்து ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் எடுத்து அந்த இடத்துல வந்து கொடுக்கலாம். Okay, so you ensure that which are all the plants having actinomorphic. Okay, they are mustard, datura and chili. And second one is zygomorphic, when can be divided into two similar alves. So that is the key word here, the similar alves, only one particular, second one is only one particular vertical plane. So these are the two important keywords. One is one particular vertical plane and second one is similar, two similar structures. Okay, so this type of flowers are zygomorphic flowers. Example as seen in pea, gulmohar, bean and cassia. So here there are 4 examples are mentioned. Okay, it's very important one, there are 4 examples. So pea plants, gulmohar, bean and cassia, so these plants having zygomorphic flowers. And the last one is asymmetric flower, which means they are the irregular flowers. If it cannot be divided into two similar halves, so we can't divide the flower into two equal halves. Okay, with a vertical plane passing through the center, and as seen in cannot. So there are 3 type of symmetry and their examples are mentioned here. It is very very important. Okay, the first one is Kenna and second one is Kenna is example for asymmetric flowers, and zygomorphic flowers are seen in pea, gulmohar, bean and cassia. And next one is actinomorphic flowers. Okay, so actinomorphic flowers is seen in mustard, datura and chili. So question கேட்கும்போது உங்களுக்கு எப்படி questions கேட்கலாம்னா எந்தெந்த சிமெட்ரிக்கு என்னென்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் அப்படின்றத நீங்க ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணுங்க. ஓகே, ரைட். So இது வந்து ஒரு ஃபேக்ட், கம்ப்ளீட்லி ஃபேக்ட் பேஸ்ட் லெசன். ஓகே, ஸோ வி கேன் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் ஃபேக்ட் பேஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின்ஸ். டெஃபினெட்லி இந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் தான் வந்து ஒரு ஃபேக்டா நம்ம வந்து சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கோம். இந்த ஃபேக்ட் தான் வந்து நமக்கு கொஸ்டினாவும் கன்வெர்ட் ஆகிறதுக்கு சான்சஸ் இருக்கு. ஓகே, so next one is based on the floral appendages. So different type of flowers, they are trimerous, tetramerous and pentamerous. When the floral appendages are multiple of 3, 4, 5, so even it depend upon the floral appendages. The flowers may be trimerous, tetramerous or pentamerous. Okay, so flowers with the bracts, reduced leaf found at the base of the pedicel are called bracteate. So another important characteristic feature of flower, that is bracteate, and those without the bracts they are ebracteate. So which is the bracteate? Listen, flowers with the bracts, reduce the leaf found at the base, okay, of the pedicel are called bracteate, or the, and those without bracts they are called ebracteates. Okay, right. Okay, let me discuss the next one. Okay, okay, so those are now in streaming. Just look at those examples. Okay, so the examples which seen and symmetry. So what are all the symmetry we saw? Okay, there are 3 type of symmetries, right? Zygomorphic, actinomorphic and asymmetric. So we can expect a question based on that. Okay, அதனால வந்து அந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து ஒரு தடவை அப்படியே பார்த்து படிச்சுக்கோங்க. ஸோ ஏன் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா bracteate. Okay, wait a minute, I will bring that one. See, flowers with bracts, I mean reduced leaf. Okay. Just a minute. So flowers with bracts, reduced leaf found. I mean reduced leaf found at the base of the pedicel. What is pedicel? Pedicel and for example in this region. Okay. So for example, if consider this the sepals and the petals, okay, and we know gynecium and androecium, right? So in the இடத்துல at the base of this region, okay, if there is a structure which is known as bracteate. If அது வந்து இல்லாம இருந்தா அது நம்ம a bracteate னு சொல்றோம். சின்ன structure இருந்தா அத bracteate னு சொல்றோம். Simple. Okay. So base of the pedicel are called bracteates. Okay, இது ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்டான வேர்ட் வந்து the bract reduced leaf. Okay, reduced leaf found at the base. ஒரு சின்ன leaf like structure, ஒரு சின்ன structure. Okay, இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். This is the bract. Okay, if it is not, it is called ebracteate. இப்போ இது நீங்க எப்படி எடுக்கலாம்னா ஹைபிஸ்கஸ்ல கூட நீங்க பார்க்கலாம். ஓகே, ரைட். Yes, correct. Pedicel means flower stalk, and there is a reduced leaf-like structure, that is bracteate. Okay, that is a bracteate. There is no bracteate, they are called, the flowers are called ebracteate. Okay, who asked that question? Vaishnavi. Now you understood, no? Okay, shall we move? Okay, thank you so much. Once again, I will repeat the examples which is comes under symmetry are very important because there is no question last 2 years. Okay, so another we can expect a question. Adanala solren. So you just remember the names. Okay, asymmetry and zygomorphic, actinomorphic. So which are all the plants? They have these plants. Okay, these flowers. It's very important one. Okay, right. Okay, let me discuss further. And okay, Darshan and Amarjyoti Ramesh. Sir, okay, you asked about the no fruit, right? புரியுதா? நீங்க கேட்ட क्वेश्चंस ஆன்சர் சொல்றேன். ஹைபிஸ்கஸ் வந்து does not bear produce. பொதுவா வந்து fruits வந்து ஃபார்ம் ஆகாது because the androecium and gynecium are not functionally open. Okay, and not only that, there must be a structure like there must be a fruit like structure, but they are not complete fruits. Okay, so they does not bear fruits first of all. The reason behind is androecium and gynecium are not working. Okay, so that is the reason. But there are some அது வந்து இன்னும் நம்ம டீடைலா பார்க்கலாம். எப்படி பார்க்கலாம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, the hibiscus fruits have the 5-lobed, okay, 5-lobed pod. அப்படிதான் நம்ம சொல்ல முடியும். 5-lobed pod or capsule. I mean எங்க இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா just below the flower, and there are some structures. Okay, there is a lobe like structure in there. You can able to yeah I'm in the process. So clear my doubt. Is there அதான் நான் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் இப்போ. Hibiscus fruits have a 5-lobed structure. Simply சொல்லணும்னா there is a 5-lobed structure. Okay, just below the flower. But ஏன் வந்து fruits வந்து complete fruits ஃபார்ம் ஆகல அப்படின்னா androecium and gynecium is not working. Okay, Do you get? Darshan Amarjyoti Ramesh. You clear? There is no distinct food. அப்படி வேணா நம்ம எடுத்துக்கலாம். Okay. Okay, what about Darshan Amarjyoti Ramesh? Do you understood? There are two important reasons. One is the andrecium and gynecium. No. They produce pollen grains. See, the reason behind is they are not working. Okay, working in the sense, see, the same flower can produce pollen grains and gynecium. So நீங்க அந்த செக்ஷன் எடுத்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா flower section எடுத்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா தெரியும். Okay, so அந்த stalk like structure இருக்கும் இல்லையா, andrecium உடைய அந்த stalk like structure நீங்க பார்க்கலாம். If you remove that anther stamens from there and inside that stalk you can able to find the gynecium. Okay. See, இந்த இடத்துல ஒரு விஷயம் நீங்க நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். We can't say completely they are sterile. நம்ம ஸ்டெரைல் ஸ்டேமின்ஸ் தான் நம்ம ஸ்டேமினோடுன்னு சொல்லுவோம். பட் இந்த இடத்துல நம்ம ஸ்டேமினோடுன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. அப்படி பாத்தீங்கன்னா how the flowers are producing, right? The new flowers are producing அப்படின்னு நமக்கு தெரியும். Stamens are there, pollen grains are there. அது இருக்கு இல்லைன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. But they are not working. அவ்வளவுதான். Okay, next class I will give you the diagrammatic the process of flower bearing process. Okay, I will show you. Okay, any doubts? இன்னொரு டிஃபரெண்ட் என்ன அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா பேரண்ட்ஸ்னுடைய சீட்ஸ் அந்த இது இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதனுடைய இதுக்கும் அந்த ஃப்ளவர்ஸ்னுடைய சீட்ஸ்க்கும் நிறைய வித்தியாசம் இருக்கும். They are not similar. Okay, that is another example. Okay, good, very good Darshan. Make this session more interactive. Very good. Keep asking question like this. Okay, others also, but the most important thing is for understanding the classes, its ultimate aim is to answer the question of Neet examination. Okay, if there any question you encounter, Geeta Haripriya. Okay, so நம்மளோட ultimate aim என்னவா இருக்கணும்னா நீட் எக்ஸாம்ல கேட்கக்கூடிய क्वेश्चंस ஆன்சர் பண்ற மாதிரி நம்மளுடைய knowledge இருக்கணும். Okay, let me discuss another one. Okay, so bracteate, e-bracteate எல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டோம். So the next one is okay, so now based on the position of calyx, corolla and andrecium is respect of the ovary on the thalamus, the flowers are described as different types of flowers: hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. So these are all the different type of flowers. This classification is based on the position of calyx, corolla and andrecium. Okay, and the ovary also. So which is arranged on the thalamus. Okay, how they are arranged on the thalamus? It's based on that There are different type of flowers. One is hypogynous, perigynous, and epigynous. Let me discuss one by one with the examples. Okay. So இங்கே நம்ம questions எப்படி expect பண்ணலாம்னா different type of flowers. Sir, how much can we get if we are through with NCRT for NCRT biology out of 360? See, if you look previous year questions, I mean last 3 to 4 years question paper, more than out of 90, more than 80 questions, 80 to 85, the question directly derived from NCRT content, based on the NCRT content. So maximum last year also, last year question paper 2020 question paper, if you analyze the questions, maximum 85 to 86 questions are directly derived from the content of NCRT only. By using NCRT content, they direct. So you can get the 360 out of 360 also, definitely, if you 100% thorough the NCRT books. I'm not telling that. See, the question paper seems that, okay, the previous year questions. See, this is depend upon the individual, ma. This is depend upon the individuals. It's depend upon the individual. Okay, so it's depend upon the individual. ஏன் சொல்றேன்னா, so some students are very quicker than others. So நீங்க எப்படி பார்க்கலாம் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, what I suggest you, Geeta Haripriya, what I suggest you, whatever the subject we are discussing that day, even board students also, now you are attending board classes. See, the board books are, I mean, the board means state board books consist more content comparatively NCRT. Okay, so if you are listening a particular content of the board class, you can utilize that for Neet also. It is good. It is good only. Academic book also consists NCRT content. So the advantage is there is a more content. Okay, the extra content also there. That is good enough. Okay, so you should prepare. Depend upon the subject the day you are listening the classes. Okay, so if for example, if you are attending classes from 11th standard classes about any subject, any topic, just utilize the topic for Neet. Okay, you convert that class into Neet profession. It's all about how you are attending the classes. Okay, so how you are getting the information from your teacher. Okay, good. But my primary preference I always given to NCRT books. That's why I ask you people to analyze the previous year question, at least 2 to 3 years questions. Okay, if you analyze these questions, you figured out, okay, how many questions are directly asked from NCRT. அதுக்கு நீங்க முதல்ல என்ன பண்ணணும்னா NCRT புக்கை ஓரளவுக்கு படிச்சு முடிச்சிருக்கணும். ஸோ எந்த கொஸ்டின், எந்தெந்த கண்டென்ட், எந்த அளவுக்கு கண்டென்ட் NCRTல இருந்து இருக்கு அப்படின்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியணும். ஓகே, I mean those are studying in state board, so you people having a huge content comparatively NCRT. Okay, good. So let me continue. Good one. So different flowers, we can classify different flowers depend upon the presence of calyx, corolla, and androecium, gynoecium, and thalamus. Okay, so the first one is hypogynous. Let me discuss hypogynous flowers. So hypogynous flowers, gynoecium occupies the highest position. Okay, let me keep it like this for looking these diagrams. Okay, okay. See, this is the hypogynous. In the hypogynous flower, the gynoecium occupies highest position. See, this is the gynoecium. Okay, this is the gynoecium, and this is the above position, and below the gynoecium, androecium is there, and petals and sepals. Okay, so try to understand the sentence here. The flowers, the gynoecium occupies the highest position. So gynoecium occupies the highest position, while other parts are situated below it. Okay, you can able to see, right? This is the gynoecium, and this is petals, and these are all the sepals. Okay, so these kind of flowers are known as hypogynous. Okay, and this type of ovary, if the flowers are hypogynous, then what are the types of ovary? So the ovary is such flower is said to be superior one. So here this is the superior type of ovary. Okay. So when we call superior type of ovary, so the gynoecium is present above the level and the other structures just below it. Okay, so this type of flowers are hypogynous flowers. So then இப்படி நீங்க யோசிக்கலாம், whenever there is a hypogynous flower, the ovaries are superior type. Okay, so now the third one is, what are all the examples, I mean which type of plants having hypogynous flowers and the superior ovary? So we have three examples here. One is mustard and China rose and brinjal. So three examples are given here, right? Mustard, China rose and brinjal. So எப்படிங்க இதுல இருந்து question expect பண்ணலாம்? How we can expect question based on this? So we can expect which of the following plants having hypogynous flowers? Okay, otherwise which of the following plants have superior flowers? இப்படி வந்து questions கேட்கலாம், இல்லைன்னா match type of question கேட்கலாம். If you assume there is a match type of question, one column consists of ovary or flower type, hypogynous or superior. The next column consists the examples. Then they ask us to select which one is correctly matched and which one is incorrectly matched. Okay, for answering these questions we have to remember these names. Okay, ஞாபகம் இருக்கணும், அந்த last exam time ல நம்ம ஞாபகம் இருக்கணும். Mustard, China rose and brinjal, these three plants are having hypogynous flowers and superior ovary. Their ovary is superior one. Okay, so this sometimes we may get a question about the hypogynous flower. So what is the characteristic feature of hypogynous flower? See, the flower gynoecium occupies the highest position while other parts are situated below it. So if they made the sentence, the entire sentence as same is here, which is seen here. So they will ask us to select which of the following the flowers are having this characteristic feature. Okay, the answer is hypogynous. But we have only three type of flowers. So அப்படி கேட்கும்போது அந்த மாதிரி statement based questions நம்ம expect பண்ணலாம். Match type of question expect பண்ணலாம், இல்ல traditional type of example questions நம்ம expect பண்ணலாம். Okay, right. So the second one is a perigynous flower. So there are two type of perigynous flowers mentioned here. Okay, with they clearly depicted the diagram here. So let me discuss about perigynous flower. Okay, if gynoecium is situated in the center, okay, it is center, and other parts of the flower are located on the rim of the, okay, உங்களுக்கு தெரியுது இல்லையா? Okay, rim of the thalamus, almost at the same level. Take this one. See, this is the gynoecium. The same level you also find sepals, petals and gynoecium. Okay, so this type of flowers are known as perigynous flowers. The ovary of these flowers are said to be of inferior type. So this is the superior one. Hypogynous flowers have superior ovary and perigynous flowers have inferior ovary. For example, the examples, okay, I mean the inferior ovary seen in the plants like plum, rose and peach. Plum, rose and peach, and these are the examples. Very very important for examination point of view. We can expect a question, right? If they expect பண்ணலாம், which of the following plants have inferior ovary? That is the first question we can expect. And the second type of question, which type of flowers they have, which means the perigynous flowers are seen in which are the examples. So the option should be plum, rose, peach, and the last one is all the above. So n number of questions we can expect from this content. Okay, for answering these questions we have to ensure that these are all the points. Okay, in the points சரியா ஞாபகம் இருந்தா, sorry, okay, you can easily answer, right? So the last one is, this is the last one, that is epigynous flowers. Here epigynous flowers, look at this diagram, gynecium is just present below the structures, other structures. See, so this is the petals and gynecium and the androecium and sepals. So sepals, petals and gynecium. All other appendages are arranged above the gynecium. Correct. So this type is just opposite to the first one, hypogynous flowers. Hypogynous flowers gynecium மேல இருக்கும், மற்ற ஸ்ட்ரக்சர்லாம் கீழ இருக்கும். பட் இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா gynecium is just below and other structures are above the gynecium. Okay, so this is the example of epigynous flowers. So these are the epigynous flowers, but this type of flowers having inferior ovary. So the ovary which is present in epigynous flower, it is inferior type. Okay, it is inferior type. That is the example one. So let me discuss what are all the examples. Okay, and then the plants in the type of ovary இருக்குன்னு பார்க்கலாம். Okay, so here the ovary here is said to be half inferior, what we discussed in perigynous. So now epigynous flowers, the margins of the thalamus grow upward, enclosing the ovary completely. So it's a very important one. See, in the characteristic feature கொடுத்துட்டு இந்த characteristic feature எந்த flower உடைய characteristic feature னு கேட்கலாம். That is another chance. Okay, and getting fused with it, the other parts of flowers are rises above the ovary. Okay, above the ovary, hence the ovary is said to be inferior one. Okay, this is the inferior one. So if there is a epigynous flowers, they produce inferior ovaries. So as seen in guava, cucumber and the sunflower, florets of sunflower. So these three are the examples. Okay, so which is example for epigynous flowers, and these plants guava, cucumber and florets of sunflowers having inferior ovary. So totally how many ovaries we saw here? First one is superior one, as seen in mustard, china rose and brinjal, and half inferior one plum, rose, peach, and inferior one is guava and cucumber and florets of sunflower. Okay, so in the segment la irundha nama questions eppadi expect pannalam konjam yosichu parunga. Match type of questions கேட்கலாம். One column consists of, ovary types, the another column consists examples. At the same time, another chance, one column consists the flower name, epigynous, perigynous and hypogynous, and another column consists examples or the different type of ovary. So n number of questions we can expect from here. So for answering those questions again and again, so இந்த லெசன்ல இந்த ஒரு கொஸ்டின் கேட்டா நம்ம ஆன்சர் பண்ணணும்னா இந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் இல்லாம உங்களால ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண முடியாது. அதே மாதிரி இந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு நம்ம ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும் இல்லையா? ஸோ நவ் ஆக்சுவலி நவம்பர், ஓகே, டிசம்பர், ஆல்மோஸ்ட் 4 to 5 months, அப் டு 6 months நம்ம எக்ஸாமினேஷன் வர வரையும் இந்த நேம்ஸ் நம்ம மறக்க கூடாது. ஓகே, ஸோ அதனால முடிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு திங்க் இன் அ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் வே. இதெல்லாம் ஞாபகம் இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னா நம்ம அடிக்கடி இதை ரிவிஷன் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கணும். ஸோ வி ஹாவ் டு ரிவைஸ் அகைன் அண்ட் அகைன். ஸோ டேக் notes and revise the notes again and again. Otherwise you just write these examples on sticky notes and paste where you are using the place where you are using for studying. Okay, so then whenever you are seeing the names again and again, then it automatically stored in your brain. Okay, so அதனால இந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் எல்லாம் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். இந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள் ரிலேட்டடா क्वेश्चंसே வரும், மேக்ஸிமம் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். Okay, so far we discussed about different type of flowers and their examples. Okay, right, and second one is parts of flowers. The second example is another topic is parts of flower. As we already discussed, different structures: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynecium. So first two structures, calyx and corolla, they are accessory structures, and here in the structure பத்தி பார்க்கும்போது எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் எல்லாம் எதுவும் கொடுக்கல. there is no examples under calyx and corolla, but there are some terminologies are very important. Okay, so அந்த terminologies பார்க்கும்போது gamocephalous, அப்புறம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா polycephalous. Okay, let me discuss one by one. Okay. So the first one is calyx part. So here the calyx is the outermost wall of the flower and members are called sepals. So calyx members are called sepals, and if the sepals are they are green usually and they are leaf-like and protect the flower. So the major function of calyx here protection. Okay. So the calyx maybe particularly they can protect the flower at the time of bud. Okay. And there are two type of sepals. I mean calyx regions. One is gamocephalus, another one is polycephalus. If these sepals, and I mean number of sepals are there, right? So different flowers having different number of sepals. If more than two, three, if these sepals are fused together, if they are united, so those calyx is called gamocephalus. If they are not fused, if they are free, and they are called polycephalus. So there are two type of calyx. One is gamocephalus, another one is polycephalus. So gamocephalus எப்போ சொல்ல முடியும்? If these sepals, I mean the members of calyx, okay, if they are sepals, if they are fused together, they are united, they are called gamocephalus. If they are free, they are called polycephalus. The same corolla also. Corolla, the composed petals, and they are bright color structures. Okay, bright color structures அப்படின்னு நம்ம ஏன் சொல்றோம் அப்படின்னா, so the flowers required pollination, right? So getting pollinating agents, so they produce different colors. Okay, so that is one of the characteristic feature of flowers which are required biotic pollinating agents. Okay, let me discuss another one, calyx and corolla. Okay, right. So we completed calyx and corolla. See, if corolla members are petals, if they are joined together, they are called gamopetalous. Okay, if they are free, they are polypetalous. So on the point one add. So next one is androecium. So I try to complete androecium today. Okay, androecium is the male reproductive organ, so which consists stamens. So in a single stamen, we can figure out two structure. One is filament, another one is anther. So anther is consist. It is bilobed. Usually in a typical angiosperm anther, it is bilobed, which consists four microsporangium, and which is known as pollen sacs, where exactly pollen grains are synthesized. Okay, so each anther is usually bilobed, and each lobe has two chambers. The chambers known as pollen sacs, where pollen grains are synthesized. So pollen grains are produced in pollen sacs. Okay, that is microsporangium. So the sterile stamen is called staminode. So this is the very important one. So we can expect a question. Staminode is sterile stamen and fertile stamen. So different type of options we may get. Okay. So sterile stamen is known as staminode. Okay. And second one is stamens of flowers may be united with other members. So other members are nothing but sepals and petals. Okay, as petals are among themselves. Sometimes they also fuse themselves. Okay, so the anthers stamens kulle onnonu join ana mari iruklam. When stamens are attached to the petals, they are epipetalous. They are epipetalous as seen in brinjal, epiphyllus. Okay, the first one is epipetalous as seen in brinjal. Epipetalous na eppadi sollalam? When the stamens are attached with the floral petals. So இப்போ flower இருக்கு, அதுல petals and stamens இருக்குன்னா, those stamens are attached with the petals. It is known as epipetalous. So epipetalous is seen in brinjal. So உங்களுக்கு இங்கேயும் வந்து எக்ஸாம்பிள் கேட்கலாங்க. Epipetalous seen in brinjal அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் பேஸ்டும் क्वेश्चन கேட்கலாம். Epiphyllus when attached to the perianth. See here the name perianth என்ன பார்த்தோம்? இயர்லேயே நம்ம பார்த்தோம். When there is no distinguish between sepals and petals, அது நம்ம என்ன சொல்லுவோம்? Perianth அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா? So the perianth of lily. Okay, this epiphyllus. Okay, epiphyllus as seen in lily. Epipetalis seen in brinjal. So it's very important one. Okay, examples. And the stamens in flower may either remain free. If they are free, they are called polyandrous. They are known as polyandrous, or may be united in varying degrees. Okay, so the stamens may be united into one bunch or one bundle, one bunch or one bundle. So if all the stamens are united together and they make a single bundle, this type of androecium is called monoadelphous. Monoadelphous, delphous in the sense the fusion. Okay, as seen in China rose. So monoadelphous androecium which is present in China rose are two bundles. If they stamens are fused into two bundles, they are called diadelphous. Okay, as seen in P, or into more than two bundles. A single bundle and the monoadelphous as seen in China rose, and it consists two bundles. It's a diadelphous which present in P plants, and another one is if more than two bundles, they are polyadelphous. Okay, polyadelphous as seen in citrus. Okay, three examples are seen here. Monoadelphous seen in Russia, I mean China rose, and second one is diadelphous as seen in pea plant, and third one is polyadelphous seen in citrus. So இப்போ கொஸ்டின்ஸ் எப்படி கேட்பாங்கன்னா சேம் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம அந்த ஹைப்போகைனஸ் பெரிகைனஸ் எபிகைனஸ் ஃப்ளவர்ஸ்ல எப்படி வந்து மேட்ச் டைப் நம்ம எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணமோ அதே மாதிரியான கொஸ்டின்ஸ் நம்ம இங்கேயும் எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, ஸோ the monoadelphous, diadelphous, and polyadelphous. Okay, so polyadelphous is predominantly available in citrus, diadelphous as seen in pea, and monoadelphous is China rose plant. Okay, right. And sometimes the length of these stamens it will be varied. It is not same. Some plants the length of stamen on the where degrees la irukkalam. So the examples are salvia and mustard. In salvia and mustard plants, stamens are the length of the stamens are not equal. So அது வந்து வேற வேற lengthல இருக்கலாம். So there may be a variation in the length of filaments within the flower. So as seen in salvia and mustard. So in this segment, in this content, we so there are 4 to 5 examples. Epipetalis as seen in brinjal, Epiphyllus as seen in lily, and third one is monoadelphous as seen in China rose, and diadelphous as seen in pea plant, and last one is polyadelphous is seen in citrus. இது வந்து based on the bundle numbers. இப்போ based on the length, if there is a variation in the length, okay, this type of stamens is seen in salvia and mustard. Okay, so here we conclude the androecium. Okay, so இதே மாதிரி நம்ம வந்து அடுத்த கிளாஸ்ல வந்து நம்ம கைனீசியம் பத்தியும் பார்க்கலாம். ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச். இல்லை நீ ஏதோ